We're talking about Trump's administration to crack down on food stamps, but when he's cracking down on food stamps, they cracking on what you can. I don't know. Matter of fact, I'm gonna just play the quick clip of the video, and we're gonna go from there. All right, let's do it.
So, what's your reaction to this possibility? Do you think this is a good or a bad idea?
You know, Anna, one of the things as a cardiologist we've been incredibly concerned about is the burgeoning obesity in this country, diabetes, hypertension. All of those are risk factors that do what? Lead to cardiovascular disease. Heart disease is the #1 killer of Americans, it's the #1 killer of women. And so we've been very concerned about this continues to be the #1 killer. Certainly, food is a big part of it. And we know that 80% of all heart disease is actually preventable. It's not genetic.
Well, some would say, this sounds really insensitive that they're not going to let people who are on food stamps be able to buy the food that they want to eat. But can you talk a little bit about how things have changed in our history? I studied community health when I was in college. And back in the day, it used to be that when you were poor, you couldn't get enough to eat. And now when you're poor, very often, because the foods are so, high in calories, but low in actual nutrients, there's an obesity problem for people who are in poverty.
Anna, you're absolutely correct. There are two sides to that coin. People still don't get enough to eat. They're getting empty calorie foods that are not nutrient dense. And when we look at both sides of that coin, very well intended. However, there are still people, especially those in rural America and some areas on the margins of urban America, that are in these food deserts, and you really only have access to what is available to you. You have to remember that 25% of people that are utilizing food stamps are disabled, another 20% are elderly, 40% are children. So we have to take into account all of these things. Additionally, this is actually being used as money. And fruits and vegetables are so much more expensive than cheap food. And so that still doesn't correct for how are you going to have enough food stamps to buy these fresh items. And so all of that seems to still need to be worked out.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like right now it's just an idea. It's just something that's sort of being proposed and getting hammered out. But you're right, something ought to be done in tandem as well to try to help these folks get fruits and vegetables and make them accessible and not so doggone it.